This demo, it's purely I have only for Workday Financials. If you see some part of, I have added some part of reporting, and then we can also talk about the some part of integrations as well, like EIB and connectors, how it works overall. But this is mostly Workday Financial Consultant. I mean, consultant's course content. You can say that it has, like, we'll have to start from company and then till we go with the financial accounting, account receivables, payables, banking and settlement, then security and business process. So anyone has any experience with Workday, or you all are new to Workday?
New, don't have experience on
You are.
Workday.
So what's your legacy system? You guys are from which legacy system?
I'm from SAP. I'm working as a SAP FSO consultant.
Oh,
I am Oracle Cloud Financials background from.
okay. So you, at least you guys are from financials, is it? Everyone,
Yeah.
all four of you? That's a great, because sometimes I struggle, people come from different background and then they try to learn this Workday Financial instead of learning, let's say, SCM, which is a core area to just to start with. But when you're not familiar with financial terms, sometimes it's get tricky to learn all this, right? And do you guys have any questions or queries before I start explaining each of these areas, how it works, how it's connected to cross-functional areas, what are the functional area, what are the key difference between legacy system to this one, what are the project management and others? Anyone has any questions before I start?
Actually, I have one question. What is the difference between SAP FSO and this Workday Finance? Is there any possible to explain?
So see, so what SAP FICO and then this one Workday Financial, I think SAP FICO is your basically the legacy system, right? And Workday Financial is totally cloud based.
Okay.
There are
Nowadays, SAP is in cloud basis actually. It is
even there
coming
are
with.
SAP S4 HANA, which is a cloud based system. But if I talk about like overall, what are the differences between this? So there are difference in the architecture itself. So when you talk about SAP FICO, it is like larger SAP ERP system, which is like kind of on-premise. I'm not talking about S4 HANA, I'm talking about FICO. And where Workday Financial, it is cloud-based software as a service. It is a SaaS-based, like you can say, financial management system. That's a architecture-wise difference. There are also deployment model for both of these. There are different deployment models. It's like SAP FICO requires on-premise infrastructure, extensive IT resources for implementation, where Workday all you need like access, just a tenant access, and you can start building things. You can start creating things. You all this infrastructure maintenance and regular update, it is being handled by Workday itself. Okay. Customization wise difference or configuration wise difference, if you'll ask. So SAP FICO, like it offers high degree of customization and configuration option, which can be, I would say I have experience in FICO, so I can tell you which is time consuming and it could be complex sometimes. But Workday Financial has more, standardized configuration approach, like focusing on best practices, ease of use, easy to learn, easy to manage, these are the differences I see. Any other
Okay.
particular, like integration wise, reporting analytics wise, implementation wise also, then cost structure is also different. So there are many differences, right? Anything particular you want to talk about? I mean, you want me to talk about? Yep. So that's the key differences, like system architecture, deployment model, customization and capabilities. Then there are others as well, like integration wise and reporting and architecture. Any other question you have, or should I?
No, no. Okay, actually, I'm asking about salary, which is better.
That is it is something as a consultant, what I feel, we should keep on learning new things. SAP,
Okay.
FICO, I see it is crowded. A lot of consultants are there, but when it comes to Workday Finance, you'll not find even good consultants. Like people are still learning and trying to understand how different business process security works, how Workday works. So it is evolving, and same time there are a huge market for it. So I rather try to keep my SAP FICO skill up to date, and then I also work in um, being a functional consultant. It doesn't matter for me like which ERP system I'm implementing. All I have to do, it is just a tool for me. All I have to do is like my functional knowledge should be strong. So if you say which one is good, I don't think Workday Financial can you know overtake SAP FICO anytime soon. That is not going to happen. SAP is a giant in the market. It will be the giant in the market because of the flexibility it has. So there are some, when it is a cloud based, there are there, and also Workday Financial is no code tool. So when there is a no code, it cannot be customized as high as SAP can be customized. I hope you got the answer.
Yeah, SAP is the customizing one actually. Okay.
Yeah, SAP, like it is highly customizable. Workday
Mm,
Financial, it is like sometimes you have to struggle. Maybe you have to raise a case with Workday and wait for some time to come up with the solution. That happens sometimes. So it is still evolving. It is not that fully matured system.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there are good demand when you go to public sector. If you are expert in Workday, any financial models, like uh, if you are an industry expert for professional services, IT companies, healthcare, public sector, it works fine for these companies. Let's say if you go to manufacturing, even financials, it works good. But manufacturing industries, so industries quite, they have very lengthy processes. So sometimes like Workday Financial may struggle over there, but not. I would say it is not that mature. Right? That's definitely the case. So there are
Okay.
tons of different ERP systems. Some are based only for the some of the industries only. Depends on like which industry you are looking for. But when it comes to the cloud, because everything is moving to cloud, so obviously we have to learn cloud ERP as well. We have to upgrade ourselves. So that's how like I would say you can learn this. And there are other systems as well. Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Anyone has any questions, or should I start with introduction to Workday Financials? All right. So let's start with Workday introduction, which is I'll give you the overview of Workday. So Workday is cloud-based. It is, you can say, software as a service enterprise resource planning system. It is unified platform, like you can manage your financials, human resource like SCM, then there are operations, then planning and payroll, like payroll for 5 countries. Recently they added one more country, which is France. So it is like in one application you have all these areas. You can we Workday call it a solution. So Workday provides solutions for Workday financials, HR, planning, and payroll, along with the analytics. Like you might be aware of Prism Analytics, which is part of Workday. You can compare it to similar to Power BI kind of tool, but it is called Prism tool, which is within Workday, where you can do the financial data modeling and any third party data you can pull to Workday and do the analytics. And then it has reporting capabilities as well. Okay. Now, since we are learning the Workday financials, so we'll talk more about the Workday financials. So it is a financial management module within Workday. So first thing is like we have this Workday solutions, which is like Workday provides solution, and it could be HR, finance, payroll, planning. We are learning Workday financial management. So the, this one is called solution, and this one is called functional area. And then there are domain and then security, which is we'll talk about later. So within Workday solution, we have financial management. You can see this one. It all comes under financial management, whether it is a customer, supplier, or any other of it. So we have a financial management. It is a suite. You can say it is a financial management is complete set of package. Under that, we are used to work around account payable, account receivable kind of thing. But in Workday, there are different terms for it. So when it comes to financial, you can say R2R, then in Workday it is called financial accounting. Okay. Then there are supplier, then there are customers, and then we'll have banking and settlement. So these are the core areas like R2R, AP, AR, but we don't call it in Workday like that. We say financial accounting, Workday supplier, Workday customer, and banking and settlement. The key feature of Workday Financial is like there are multi-currency and multi-company support. It has a feature which supports multi-currency and multi-company. We have the journal ledger and chart of account management, which will all these will be part of financial accounting. This will be called as account payable, and then there are account receivable. It has also budgeting and forecasting, financial reporting and analytics, expense management and procurement. All these are part of Workday Financials. So when we log into Workday tenant, I can show you all the functional area which comes under the Workday Financial Management. But these are like core areas of Workday Financials. So if you see this course content, it has organizations, like you'll have to set up the organization first. There could be some organizational tags. This is kind of business process and security of Workday, like how you have to secure the system, who should have what access, how what should be the business process. That we define under this particular piece. Financial accounting, as I said, like multi-currency journals or ledger management, like all these accounting rules, company setup, fiscal year, schedule, everything comes under this particular functional area. Then there are customer setup and customer invoices setup, which are like another two functional area, which you can call account receivable. Under account payable, it comes supplier, Workday supplier setup, and then Workday supplier invoices setup. There are banking and settlement features, like you have to set up everything from scratch for banking and settlement. Then there are business asset setup as well. And this last one is like you have to learn some report writer tool within Workday, which where you can create the reports based on these setup and then areas, functional areas, and then different business objects. So these are like, so all these four you can say you're going to learn, which is a core financial. And then also there are business assets, reportings, business process, security, some part of integration like loading the bulk data manually or launching the EIBs and connectors. So this
So,
is like,
sorry for the interruption, Sumit. Is it comes
Mhm.
under technical or functional?
So this course content is focused on functional side of Workday Financials. So technical side of it is like just kind of overview I can give you, but not complete. I cannot prepare you completely like no technical consultant as a technical consultant.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
But I can give you the overall how integration works, how to load EIBs, core connectors. So technical it is. When it comes to financial, technical has again some sort of like you have to invest a lot of time, launching the integration, creating it, loading the data, troubleshooting it. It is not like just manually you created some EIBs and then you can call yourself as a technical consultant. So this course content is totally focused on the functional side of it. Okay. So I was explaining some of the key feature of Workday Financials. You can say that first one is multi-currency and multi-company support, general ledger and chart of account management, account receivable and account payable, which is called Workday supplier and Workday customer in Workday. There are procurement and expense management, which is not a part of this course content, but I can give you some overview how procurement and expense works. But you'll see there is no expense and procurement because that will become a very lengthy, long, uh, you
Actually,
know, course.
sorry, is there any other module for this procurement and all, like MM?
Yeah, so as I said, if you focus these four areas,
Mhm.
so imagine this as a report in Workday, which is called functional area report. So Workday
Okay.
provides solution for SCM, finance, payroll, and planning. Under finance, there are many modules, not only these four. There are
Mhm.
expense, procurement, there are accounting center, there are data-wise uh, financial data modeling, and then also I think procurement I mentioned, then budgeting and forecasting, financial reporting and analytics. So you can say 70, we are not, so there is no expense and procurement, but rest of the modules will be covered under this.
Oh, asset accounting also different.
Sorry?
Asset accounting also is different. Different module.
Asset accounting, see, so these areas are like cross-functional. Asset accounting you'll find here. I have mentioned this in this course content.
Okay.
So it is like cross-functional to one to other. It is not like everything is. So once we'll start setting it up, like you'll understand how it covers, like cross-functional to one area to another one.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
yeah, so you can say when somebody asks you what are the key features of Workday Financials, I think you guys know that now. Um, Benefit, you can say like it is a cloud-based, cost-effective. Uh, there is no need of on-premise infrastructure. It is like you can scale this application Workday Financial one at large scale. Like it has been deployed in large, small, and mid-size all type of companies. Flexibility also, like it has many version upgrades, and then it is flexible. Sometimes you might get stuck where you'll not be able to achieve what your company wants to achieve. In that case, like there is a Workday support, they can support you in some areas, whether that functionality is available or not, that also depends on it. Now we'll talk about Workday financial architecture. So Workday financial, when I say Workday financial architecture, so Workday is, it is kind of event driven. It's all business object and event driven kind of application. And it is like in memory architecture. It has in memory architecture, and we don't manage their data. Workday manage their infrastructure, data, and then data center and others. It has integrated financial and operational data, and all the business process and workflows are like configurable, and there will be no coding required, as I said, and it's all cloud based. All you need is tenant and security access to work on any one of these areas. Okay. Anyone has any questions, like you want to know or learn more about Workday financial architecture? Because it is a demo class, so maybe um, I can give you little bit knowledge of each of the point rather just explaining one point. So I'll move to Workday financial implementations like an adoption. Anyone has any questions before I move to next topic? All right. So hope you guys understand the functional area, which is called module in your legacy system. Then there are core areas. It is cloud based. It is all the modules, how we call what we call them. Now let's move how we implement Workday Financials, and then what are the steps, typical implementation, and then project phase, change management for this. All right. So let's assume that you are part of any implement. I'm not sure you guys are looking for to join any AMS customer company, or you want to be a part of Workday um, implementer or partner company. You want to join any partner company. So what I'm doing is like I'll keep it as a partner company, like how we implement it rather how we manage the tool until unless someone has some specific requirement. Just hold on, guys. I am just getting a call. All right. So there are two way, like there are Workday customer and Workday partner companies. So customer company where Workday Financial is already implemented, and if you are joining that company, you must understand all these areas, mostly the security and business process, and you will be able to handle the customer's application on Workday Financial. When you join a Workday partner company, so you are part of larger team, which is a implementation team, and you can handle any one of these modules, and like you're a master of any one of the module, and then you are building everything in scratch, like you are collecting the data. So how things goes, so customer one, when I cover this partner related items, like by default I'm covering how to manage the application. So let's stick to this, how to implement Workday Financials. So there are several key phases. Like first one is like planning and scoping. So you are going to plan for it, like uh, that is basically you follow Workday's implementation methodology. Like Workday recommends collaborative iterative approach for implementation. So you have to go into the multiple meetings and decide, like see the current business process, and then what are the organization structure like looks like, how the security works, what are the financial accounting like ledger and general management, their rules, regulations, their financial schedule, physical real. For all this, you have to create a kind of checklist. Workday also provide checklist in form of Excel sheet. So you have it will be like point by point. You have to gather all the informations related to this, and that's where you will try to do the planning and scoping, and then you're going to configure it. So when you start the configuration, you start from the organization, but there are some prerequisites for Workday Financials. All you need is a tenant. You must have a tenant where you can log in, and you should have access security, which is another prerequisite. You should have access as a implementer or Workday financial admin or administrator to work on these areas. All these areas have different domain and security policy. So if your security ID, let's say if you have a security ID that is given to all these policies and area, you will be able to access all these functionals area. If you are restricted to only supplier, you will not be able to access the customer related information. So that depends company to company how they want to plan it. But mostly all you need before you go for implementation, you need a tenant, you need a security, and then you need a people assigned to some part of core financial should be there, because there's if you are creating a security access, so you are assigning it to the some user based security or role based security which will be assigned to a person. So these are some prerequisite for Workday Financials like tenant, security, and you can say the core HR. All right. So configuration and prototyping, which is a second part in your implementation. So you what you do, for example, you understood that we have to first, let's say you are working on organization, so you have to gather all the information from Workday. I mean, from the customers, like how many organizations they have, what are the hierarchies, their details, their contact details, custom company ID, billing details. Now there are multiple ways to do this or create this. One is like manually you can go and type in Workday like create company and then create cost center or others, like you will be able to create it. Another way is like data migration. Let's say if it is a large company and then you have to load everything in Excel. So your Excel sheet will be, it is like called EIB or iLoad. In that you will fill all the company details, like there will be many fields which you have to populate and then load the data. So you are in bulk, you are going to create all these companies. All right. So we will stick with the how to create all these manually, add it. I'll show you which template you can use to load in bulk any of these areas, whether there are templates for supplier, there are templates for customer, which is account receivable, banking, asset, financial accounting, security wise as well. Okay, any questions you guys have? No questions, I'll take it as a no, and we'll move to the next topic. So that is like short introduction how to implement, I mean we gather the informations, or how we load, or how we create individual company cost center or any other of it. So let's say everything in Workday Financial start with financial accounting. So even these organizations are like some part of some way it is connected to financial accounting. So this is the first module you will have to set up in Workday Financial. So it is a core component of Workday Financial Management. So here what it does, like it handles your general ledger, accounting, financial reporting functionalities. So general ledger, like you can create a general ledger in Workday, which is central. It serves as a central repository for all your financial transactions, where you can create accounting setup, journal setup, operational setup, manual journals. Then you have to create. You can also load these journals through using EIBs. There will be chart of account, account control rule, financial transactions, ledger setup, fiscal year schedule, ledger period status. All these will be set up under your financial accounting management, which we'll do step by step in when we'll start the training with the tenant. So basically, you can divide this into the seven different format. This whole module, you can divide it into the seven part. One is like general ledger, then chart of account, then journal entries, then accounting period and closing, financial reporting, intercompany and consolidation, then audit and controls. I think, yep. So that's a seven. That's a seven part. Like you can divide it uh, at broader level. Then further you can drill down to, let's say, accounting period and closing. So in that, like, Workday provides different open, close and clock period as needed. There are different set of tasks and tools given, which like you can use to reconcile, and then there are to manage the accruals, other period and adjustment. You can maintain multiple accounting calendar like fiscal year, tax year within the same Workday instance. So you take any one of these seven, like let's say if it is a chart of account, so Workday will be providing you the tools or tasks and the reports where you can see and manage the chart of account structure. You can load it in a bulk, or you can create it manually and set it up. Then you can test it, and you can also organize and define like accounts, then segment of accounts, then hierarchy to the account based on the financial reporting requirement. So we'll take some of the use cases and try to fit everything together, how this will work. All right. Any questions you guys have from financial accounting point of view, Workday point of view, like how intercompany works, or audit works, or control works, or reporting works, journal entry or chart of account works? Any questions on this?
No questions.
Are you guys able to follow me, or I'm going to high level and you're not able to relate?
We can follow you.
All right. Now next is, so once you set up the organization, you go to and then set up your financial accounting, and then you can move to the customers. So what is Workday customers? We call it account receivable in legacy system.
What about security and business?
See, this security and business, it is like it is applicable to this module, this module, this module. It is applicable everywhere.
Yeah, that means after creating organization like company hierarchy, we have to move to security and business process, right?
Even prior to this organization, you should have this security. So there is no, such a rule that we can put this first and last. So it is like,
Okay.
if you see here, we talked about what we need. We need, what are the prerequisite? We need a tenant, we need a security, we need a core SC. What is this? This is prerequisite. So you need a security. You should have, there are some Workday given security which will be in place. And once you have that, you can start building things. And then once your core structure setup is done, So there are will be like you can if you are working on this, you have to collect the data from each of these modules, like who should have what security. So parallelly, you can create this in background and later on apply to all these areas. So there are no rules that first we have to build this and then this. So this is applicable to every aspect or all of the modules. It applies to all of these modules. But there are will be like once you will get the tenant, like standard security access will be given by Workday itself. Even the reports will be given by Workday itself. So if there are customization, then you start doing the customization in security and then in report. But before you do the implementation for any one of these modules, these are called like functional area. It has to be enabled first. So once you enable it, then only you will be able to continue, applying, building these things. So this will be like part of your prerequisition. If they have not enabled any one of these modules within security and functional area, that means they are not planning to implement Workday Financial. So these are like prerequisites. Okay. Any other questions on this? So we'll move to account receivable. So account receivable, let's say if you are going to implement this account receivable, or we call it as a Workday customer in Workday. So each of these, even if you go to community or the any other forum, like first thing, like you'll have to see whether this meets the prerequisite of you have this core SCM and then security. Core SCM means not all the SCM functionality, but there should be people to whom you will assign the security access so they can work on these areas. So in Workday customer account, like you can, this module has feature like Workday will allow you to create a comprehensive customer profile where you can capture the key information like contact details, payment terms, credit limits, and so on. You can also associate with the various categories, groups, hierarchies for better, segmentation and reporting. The Workday also allow, like you can have Workday supports the management of complex customer relationships. So you will see there are functionalities for multi-entity scenarios, including the intercompany relationship. Like you can define ship to, remit to, connection between the customer and companies, and then accurate invoicing and payment processing. All these will come under these two modules. So one is customer invoice. And whenever I say customer and customer invoice, so you will see there are domain and security policy. So whenever you are going for customers, so you have to make sure these two are enabled, and then you start building. Same with this. So this like Workday's account, like anything which comes under the account receivable or Workday customer module, where you can manage customer payment. collection, their credit control. You can record customer payment. You can apply them in open invoices. You can manage customer deposit and refunds. Along with there are some other payment method like debit, direct debit, credit card processing, electronic payments. It all depends on the company and then their policy and then how they operate. But all these setup will be done under this customer and customer invoices setup. And of course, each of these modules will have their own reporting capabilities. Like there will be reports given by the workday itself, such as like aging report or any uh, if you want to monitor outstanding customers balances or any you want to identify potential collection issues. So for this there will be like by default workday has given like they have given a lot of workday reports which you can use. And if you feel like these are not meeting the requirements, then you will have to copy that report. I mean, you have to create a custom report then. Okay. So you can check like what all the minimum required fields, and then you can add your own field to that and share that report across stakeholders so they can all use it. And all of these modules will also have functionality you can where you can integrate it with the other systems as well, like whether it is billing, revenue, or recognition, end-to-end financial management, or any bulk load, supplier, banking, settlement. All these have different kind of integrations, uh, which is which we can see in this code, but it is not like we are going to build and create. Okay. Any questions from Workday customer? So if you are a part of like if earlier you have worked on any legacy system, you must be knowing like how this account receivable, payable, and financial accounting works. So most of this business process and functional wise, it is not going to change. As far as this course, like this training sessions concerned, like I'll try to cover each of these areas, how it and relate it to the functional and how to set up and configure within Workday for all these modules. So we'll move to account payable, which is supplier and supplier invoice. So similar to Workday, like customer, you can here like create supplier and you can capture their information, details like their payment term, tax information. So all, while creating, either you load it in bulk or you create it. All this depends on the how company operates. You can associate the supplier with the different categories, groups, hierarchy, connections. So these are like supplier setup, then their categories, then their purchase items, supplier account status. All those we have to set up it in the system as a consultant so that end user can use it. Similar to like Workday customer, we have a supplier relationship also, like where you can manage how the invoice adjustment for each of these supplier, their status and invoice will work, what will be their workflows, their accounting details, how to check that, the touch point, how it cross functionally works with the different modules and their security policy. So each of these modules you will see at last there will be some sort of security policy, because as you build uh, as you start from the basics and go further, you have to set it up for each of these modules. All right. So this is like very important topic, that security and then business process. Any questions on the supplier invoicing, or like where you can create, review, approve the invoices? You can, this can be automatically generated. You can generate the purchase order, receipts, and events. All these will be part of your business process. Once you set up this, you'll be able to do the, I mean, Workday supports various invoice type and credit memos, debit memos as well. And of course, there will be supplier payment and reconciliation. So these are like part of Workday supplier, which we will be covering um, within Workday supplier module or the functional area. Any questions from Workday supplier or supplier invoice? All right, so there are two more modules like banking settlement and then business asset setup and then report writer. So similar to other modules, you are going to see the enable the functional area security policy for this, and then you're going to add the key features like all these banking related details and data. Then financial institute, you'll set up the bank, create a bank routing rule, settlement overview, their business process. So Workday is like kind of allow you to manage your company's bank account, including such as account number, bank name, bank information. You can set up multiple bank account like single company or associated these account with other payment types. So there are many functionalities available. You can also build the banking integrations like which provide integration capabilities to connect with the different bank account and different systems as well. So that comes under your integration part of it. Then there are settlement processing feature as well, which comes under this like end-to-end payment processing, which includes your invoices from customer, supplier. If your company is using expense management, you can use the expense reports or other payables as well. So there are different types of payables. And it also Workday also supports different kind of payment method like EFT, credit card payments, right? Including checks. Then you can run the settlement. So that will be covered under the settlement, where Workday allows you to create, manage, run all these group processing with the payment. You can set up both manual and scheduled payment runs with different filters and parameters. So it's all depends on the different type of structure how you have built within Workday Financial. And when banking settlement comes, there will be reconciliations as well. Okay. And business assets wise, we are going to add like create and maintain depreciation profiles, categories, business process, security policy for these business assets and reports. Any questions you guys have on this business assets and banking settlement? All right. So we'll talk about now this report writer in Workday. So it is nothing but you can say we have different types of report where you can use the business object and field to create different types of custom reports, and then um, you can also use the Workday standard report which is given by the Workday. So we'll see the terminology, object, field, data source, steps to create, types of report, the structure, how we schedule, run, transfer, or create advanced report. Calculated field is for calculating different types of value within Workday, like arithmetic or string, text, true, false, evaluate, lookup, related calculated fields will check. So this is comprehensive, you can say, the course content for Workday Financials. Let me know if you guys have any questions, or I'll wrap up this session now.